So I was having this idea the other day, and I was just thinking about how, with a lot of the stuff we do in our life, whether that be pursuing a new hobby, like a sport, or just a new activity that we want to get involved with, or if we're in college or something and we have an essay or a piece to write, a project to work on, or you know, just anything we're pursuing, like, or even a relationship of some sort, or stuff like that. Something that we're pursuing that takes a little bit of wisdom in order to go about it in a harmonious way and to, I guess you could say, for lack of a better word, succeed at it. We want to show up to the equation equipped with the knowledge prior to going about it. We want to show up equipped with the knowledge of how to go about it. But I was kind of realizing that there are certain circumstances in life where, like an essay in school, or having to write a piece, a project for school, in certain instances like that, or a test, you can, the week before, or, if you're like me, the night before, study for that test, sort of absorb the information in about it, of what you just studied, and then the next day, lay it all out, solely based off of your recall, your memory recall, and then pass because of it. It's the example I'm giving right now is the example of studying beforehand and then succeeding because you studied. That is not always going to be the case in life, and oftentimes that's not the case in life. Where a lot of the stuff we deal with in our life, where we're engaging with people and we're pursuing new projects, new activities, new whatever, just stuff's going on and we're involved with the world. A lot of that is sort of live trial and error. It's learning in real time. That's what I wanted to name this video. Is so much of our life is learning in real time. Let's just use pursuing, let's say, basketball as an example. You can't just study how to play basketball and then show up to the court and then just rip three-pointers, nothing but net every single time, you know what I mean? Unless you're like god-tier basketball player, A lot of the time, studying basketball is good to familiarize yourself with the ways of the game and the, techniques of how to toss it and stuff, and, strategies like that. But the real skill in basketball comes about through actually playing basketball. And in playing basketball, when you first start out, you're most likely not going to be that good. And you need to familiarize yourself and better yourself in real time while playing basketball. And what comes with that is making a lot of mistakes. If your ego is involved, feeling let down, feeling embarrassed, feeling disappointed, feeling like you're not cut out or not good enough, or feeling courageous and then making a move that messes you up even further. A lot of getting good at basketball, what is entailed in that is accepting the fact that you're not good at basketball at first. And this is just one example of learning in real time. It would be awesome to be able to, study basketball and then show up to the court a professional. But that's not how it works. And that is basically exactly what I'm talking about laid onto life itself. Where we don't just show up to the things that happen in our life knowing how to go about it. Our life is trial and error in action. Where when we're faced with certain things a lot, that we weren't even able to study or prepare ourselves for, because you don't know what's going to happen in life. That's the surprise of life. That's the sudden spontaneity of life, is that you don't know what's coming next. So how can you study for a test when you don't know what the test is based on? That's what I mean when I say that life is live. We're learning in real time. We're learning how to do all this shit in real time. You know what I mean? Like, something I know, people that blame their parents for having been bad parents and been, pieces of shit that didn't raise them well and all that stuff. I've often realized with my parents, as far as this lifetime is concerned, I'm going to be a little realistic and rational. As far as this lifetime is concerned, this is the first time my two parents have ever been parents. This is the first time they've ever done this. They don't know what this is in the same way that I don't know what this is. It's not like there's a how-to on how to parent. I mean, yeah, you got parents, who have been parents for years and stuff, and then wrote books on how to parent efficiently and stuff like that. But that's a little corny. That's a little cop-outy. Yes, it could help, but it's not the experience, the immediacy of the moment of experiencing being a parent. So my parents don't know what this is in the same way I don't know what this is. And to realize that this is their first rodeo allows me to have a space of compassion and empathy for their situation and whatever happened in my life. And, of course, that's going to be more or less hard to feel for your parents, depending on what it was you went through in your life and what they did to you and stuff. But the point still remains that this is my parents' first time ever being parents. So they're doing the best that they can. They're learning in real time how to be parents in every moment. Every single moment is a new, refreshed reiteration of what to do now. I'm 23 years old. My oldest brother is 24 years old. I often joke with my mom, telling her that this is her first time ever having a 23 and a 24-year-old. And for the rest of our lives, as me and my brother carry on in age, that will too be my mom's first ever time having a child that old. We're all learning in real time. This is our first time here. We don't know what the hell's going on here. We learned all this stuff from our peers and our parents as we got older. We started to assimilate these concepts and ideas and structures of thinking and belief, and we started to implement them onto the world and, act out of our apparent free will and make decisions and pursue hobbies and interests out of that. But the baseline is that we don't know what the hell's going on here. And another example I can use is relationships, intimate romantic relationships between you and someone else. It would be wonderful to be able to read a book or to watch a video or to study something preemptively, where once you have read that book or watched that video or studied that thing, you are now thoroughly cut out for all relationships that will proceed in the rest of your life. Where once you've acquired this thing, now you will never make a mess up in a relationship. That's not how it works. That doesn't even work. That's not even how it works with taking tests in college, let alone a real-time, intimate, deep connection with another human being who has their whole thing going on. Relationships are a really powerful example of what I'm talking about, where there are going to be some people who get together, it's their first ever relationship ever, and they have a bang of a time together. They have a wonderful time together. They're together for quite a long time, and it's very fulfilling, it's very deep and nourishing and good for them. And that is a scenario that most definitely exists. But I think a lot of us have the way that relationships have occurred for us is a lot of heartbreaks, a lot of opening back up, blossoming back up to the opportunity and potential of love, to then close back down out of our own fear or out of rejection or out of our own egoic desires and the mistakes we've made, which is really the point I'm making here. A lot of us, the way that we've experienced relationships is up, down, up, down, up, down. Heartbreak, sadness, maybe integration, or maybe just jumping from one to the next without that space of integration. It's just heartbreak and then happiness and potential, and then heartbreak and then happiness and then potential. And the relationships are a good way for me to imply this example that I'm making, which is when you get in a relationship with somebody and it's just beginning, you want to, it's this feeling of, and we can talk about how sort of immature this is to feel this way, but I've felt it and I'm sure you feel it too. But we want to tread very lightly in that very beginning like fetal stage of the being that is that relationship between me and that person. It's about treading very lightly, and don't say that. I don't want to say the wrong thing. I wonder what they'll make of that when I say it. Oh, don't do that. They might think I'm weird if I do that. Oh, that's kind of weird what they just did. It's so delicate. And where that's coming from is not only our own fear and our own misunderstanding and our own I guess I could say insecurity, but it's coming mainly from what I'm saying about learning in real time. That our life right now in this moment is live trial and error. Where when we get in a new relationship, we're sort of, carrying behind us on a rope all the shit we've been through up until that point. And then once we get in that relationship, we sort of superimpose the paradigm of what a relationship is onto that situation between me and that person and compare it. And see what jives and see what doesn't work. And, as you get wiser, you start to, okay, that's not good. Okay, my jealousy fucked this up many times. I'm going to work on letting that go. And, I don't like when I do that, or I don't like when they do that. And all this stuff. We're taking what we've learned and superimposing it onto the moment in every single moment. I think I said it a few minutes ago, that every moment is a refreshed reiteration of learning in the real time, here and now. And using relationships as my analogy, we can see that when we get in that relationship, it's not like the first time ever, every single time. We're imposing onto it everything we've been through in our relationships. And that's why a lot of these relationships is trial and error. It's a shedding, it's a molding process where you get with somebody, you think they're going to be the one, but little do you know you're going to fuck shit up with them, because that is part of what's required for you to learn how to go about an intimate relationship with someone, because you're not already equipped with the knowledge and wisdom and what it takes to be able to go about that relationship in a wholesome, mature, and passionate way. So you're showing up to this relationship and you're going to screw things up, and it's not going to go right, and it's going to feel like everything is going down the drain and it's all gone to hell and life is pointless, and your heart feels like it's been ripped out of your chest and thrown on the ground and stomped on. But that's all to revise and reshape and remodel what a relationship even means to you. So that when the time comes, if your heart begins to open again to the possibility of intimate connection between you and another person, you can go into that situation with an evolved sense of what a relationship is. And that's what I'm saying of when I say, sorry if that was loud. When I say that life is learning in real time, and this is live trial and error here and now, right now. What I'm saying is, we can't predict what's going to come, nor can we predict how we're going to react to it. And because of that, we're going to make a lot of mistakes. We're going to do a lot of stuff right, and it's going to feel really good, but we're also going to do a lot of stuff wrong, say the wrong thing, do the wrong thing, act the wrong way, make a mistake, mess something up, and it's going to feel like shit. And we're going to think we're not good enough, and all this melodramatic, mental, psychological nonsense will carry out. But all of that, if you're present, is stuff that allows you to be molded into a more efficient being, a wiser being, a more mature being, a more confident being, a more compassionate being, a more honest being. All of the good qualities that you could ever want in someone else, or more importantly, yourself, come about through fucking shit up in life. But the catch in that is that a lot of the time when we make mistakes, like astronomical mistakes, we go down this spiraling pit into nihilism and depression and thinking we're not good enough and losing the sense of love we have for life and for ourselves and for others. But if we have the eyes to see and the ears to hear and the heart to feel, we are able to see that astronomical fuck up as a major transformation for us to be able to better ourselves. And it's hard. But what I'm saying is, we're going to make a lot of mistakes in our life. A lot of shit. We're going to do a lot of shit wrong. We're going to say the wrong thing, do the wrong thing. I already said it all. We're going to make a lot of mistakes. And it's not because you're not good enough. It's because you're learning. And whether it's a sport or an essay that you failed at, or someone who you were head over heels in love with that left you because you weren't whatever enough, they're learning too. That person's learning too. You're in the process of learning. You're learning, and you're not going to show up to the plate perfect. This life, this incarnation is a process of trial and error, learning in real time. I think it was Sri Aurobindo, who I don't know much at all. I've just heard he was the one that said this. He said, a lot of our life is to take a couple steps, trip and fall, look up sheepishly at God, stand up, brush ourselves off, and then take a couple steps, trip and fall, look up sheepishly at God, stand up, brush ourselves off, take a couple steps, and so it goes. You're not just going to soar through life, like a ever-ascending curve of perfection. I've heard it put that we think our lives is like this, just a constant one step up, one step forward, one step back, one step forward, one step back. So we're not going anywhere. There's the apparent feeling at first, the impression that we're going somewhere when we take that one step forward, but then we take that one step back. So now it feels like we're just not going anywhere after that pattern plays out long enough. But really what it is up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. We go up quite a ways, but then down just a little bit. Then up quite a ways, but only down just a little bit. And when you reach each new progression of whatever up is, and in this case we can say it's living life in a better way, in a more beneficial, loving way, when you reach each new level of bettering yourself, the slightest little diminishment in that, or making a mistake, messing something up, or being let down, or whatever it is, feels intense, because you can see that you're collapsing back into an old model that you've already surpassed. But it's in that collapse into that old dead model of how you used to be that acts as the ground for you to step back up even higher than you were previously. It's trippy stuff. And this video, this idea came about in realizing that, you know, I'm going to say the wrong thing a lot. I'm going to say the wrong thing or be interpreted in the wrong way a lot. And all I can do is see my life as an unfolding process of learning, bettering myself, healing, more thoroughly developing my own being. You know, integrating the levels between body, mind, and soul, and becoming a more and more efficient, holistic being. And what is entailed in becoming that is a lot of letdowns, a lot of fear, a lot of dreams gone to shit, a lot of hopes crumbling before my eyes, a lot of opportunities missed, a lot of potentials failed, messing a lot of stuff up. That's what comes with the process of bettering yourself, is messing up a lot of shit, you know? And as I was saying a moment ago, if you can look reality in the face and accept reality as it is, and look at this life as a playing field, as a battlefield in a way, to thrive and to conquer your negative tendencies, everything that you mess up, as bad as it may feel, allows you to heal yourself beyond it so that you don't have to do it again. That's just it. When you make the mistake, you can learn why you made the mistake, what it was that caused the mistake. If it was something that just happens and is part of the way life is, and so you learn to accept it, or if it was something that you did and you brought to the table, be it unconsciously or whatever it was, and is something that you can learn how to not do in the future. There you go. Learning, making mistakes allows you the criteria to see what it is that needs healing. You can see, oh, that's what fucked that up. Oh, I shouldn't have done that. Oh, that was kind of stupid to say. Oh, I probably should have done that. I probably should have responded to that. You know, I can't say. I reacted really intensely to that, and that fucked that right up. You know? When you make mistakes and you're mindful, and like I was saying, you have the eyes to see, the ears to hear, the heart to feel, you will be able to look at the shit that you perceive as a mistake and use that to transform yourself. It's telling you what you need to do. You know what I mean? You're being informed. You're being led in. When you fuck something up, you're being led in on a secret. And what that secret is, dude, when you do this, things get a little weird. Whether that be the sport, like the basketball analogy, or a relationship, or studying for a test, or parenting, like the analogy I used quite a while ago in the beginning, the parenting analogy. All these things, as Ram Dass said, all these things are grist for the mill of awakening. It's fuel. It's fuel. That allows you to use it to better yourself, to thrive, to ascend. You know what I'm saying? And this doesn't look easy. I feel like I've made that point clear now, that this life is trial and error. We don't know what the hell is going on here. We're doing just as good as everyone else is. Other people have just had more or less trial and error and integration of their errors and more trials. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're all in the same boat here, and we're all doing the best we can. And bettering yourself doesn't look pretty. It's a little rough around the edges, you know? Maybe really rough around the edges for a period of time. We wanna show up knowing what's up, knowing how to do it, knowing what to say, knowing how to act, knowing how to go about the situation, knowing what's wrong, knowing what's right, knowing this, knowing that. We want to show up knowing and perfect, and we know what's up. But the truth is, we aren't that. We aren't that. There may be some situations where we are just flowing in a harmonious way, where we are saying the right thing, doing the right thing, acting the right way, positioning ourselves in just the right way, and it was just a flow. But then something happens a day later or a week later or whatever it is, and you're just fucking out in the wind, you know, and you're messing shit up left and right, and, you know, you're making mistakes, and you can just see the perceived reputation that you made crumbling before your very eyes, you know what I mean? We're learning. And the mistakes we're making are helping us to better ourselves. That's the point of the video. So I'm sure you guys get the point. This life is live trial and error. This life is learning in real time, where you're going to have to sacrifice your own well-being, your own dreams, ambitions, desires, fantasies, and fears to the face of reality, to see what then happens as a result of where you're standing in with it, where you're standing in response to reality. That's going to allow you to then use that mistake or whatever it is to better yourself and to not do it again. You have to, it's like a bungee jump. You have to give yourself to life, see what happens, which entails being aware and cognizant of seeing the results of your actions, and then implement the things and practice the things that you think will prevent those mistakes and nonsense from happening. You see what I'm saying? You need to be present. You need to give yourself to life and try and have faith and see what happens. And then when a mistake happens or an alternative result or consequence happens because of what you did, you need to have the eyes to see that, to pull it into yourself, to consider and contemplate and inquire on why it is that happened, and then to implement a new strategy of going about the moment that is, again, another bungee jump to see, well, I wonder if living in this way or speaking from this place will prevent that nonsense from happening again. It's all trial and error. And we're going to mess up so many times, over and over again. We're going to fall. We're going to look sheepishly up at God. We're going to stand up, brush our knees off, take a step, and then fall again. So that's all I wanted to say in this video. If you feel like a failure, if you're just making one mistake after another, if you said something to someone that just steamrolled your guys' relationship, you're learning. And their response to you in pushing you away or cutting you off is their way of learning too. So we're all in the same boat. We're all learning. We're all here to learn. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope it shed some light on the philosophy of making mistakes and fucking shit up and learning and all that stuff. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you all later. Namaste.